I have a bakery, and if someone told me that all of a sudden the coffee I was serving was going to cause cancer in people or had the possibility of causing cancer in people, and I didn't take it off the market, I would be liable for that. You people are not. If you cause cancer in somebody, you're not liable for it because you're a government entity. Can't sue you.
I don't know how to answer it.
I know.
So
Now I'm curious. Over on, of course, you're not with these people, and these people aren't with you people, but your people are going together to do this test. So you should all be together, first of all. But we've already stated that. This gentleman that's here on the first placard, right here, with the Nevada test site, he has a very dysfunctional placard. It is not correct. It says that you get radiation from your television, your smoke detector, da-da-da-da. They're not the same thing. There's alpha emitters, there's gamma, there's beta. And you have those separated out and have different names and classifications on those because they are totally different things. You do not get alpha from your television. Correct.
That's what you're telling everybody.
But over there, you're telling these people.
But they're telling.
I know, you're not with that.
So we can't even.
I know,
We're
you're
not helpless. We can't.
See, but there's no culpability here. You're not culpable for their stuff, and they're not culpable for yours.
But this,
No one's answering our questions. We're sent from 5 different people now, and no one's answered.
no, but the other question that I asked him that he couldn't answer because he said he wasn't that part of it. Sure. The muck hole that you have all the radioactive waste in that's 1.1 miles away. And the first assessment, it said it was like 6 miles away or 4 miles away, and then they had to change it, and now it's 1.1. Okay, so if it's 1.1 miles away and you pour all this stuff into the ground, 33-foot hole, pour it in there and detonate it. Is it going to, when the blast goes off, is it going to go out across the ground like the nuclear explosions did? Is it going to go out and then come back up and be sucked back up into that mushroom cloud?
We're not going to be able to answer your question to your satisfaction. The only way we will consider all the comments and questions seriously and try to answer them. We will not necessarily. There is nothing in the NEPA in EA that says that all questions will be answered one-on-one. The plan is, though, to answer those questions that are and try to bend some of them together to answer them, and they will be written, the question and a comment. That's the plan. Now, we don't know how many comments we're going to get. We know that it's
What will you do
hundreds.
if your best science fails you, and the dust cloud does go further than you anticipate, and it dumps down in one given area? Fit with a lot of radioactive material. What are you going to do?
Don't breathe for 200 years?
Okay. First of all, we will only conduct a test if it meets environmental safety and occupational health standards. Okay, as far as the no-go criteria, we want it coming from the south, not to exceed, I want to say 20 miles an hour.
25.
Okay, so we have characterized that so it'll stay within certain parameters. That's the window.
So why have you only estimated that it'll only go out, 88 kilometers and then stop?
Because based on those weather criteria, if we stick to those, the CAP88 model that we use showed that that's where...
I've had somebody we have somebody that we know that has looked into this. He has done this for 30 years. And he has calculated that with the rate of fall, if it was to meet up with the 30-mile-an-hour wind after it gets up there, that it could be kept in the air for over 42 hours.
And to be deposited 1,200 miles away.
I don't know.
You should know that. You should know that.
I mean, that's what's going to happen.
Come on.
And you get a bunch of radioactive
Those people
stuff.
don't know it over there either.
I mean, who's doing this test?
The models
Somebody know this stuff?
The results of this model. We are concerned, and then we take everybody's concerns seriously, and we try to address them. We can't. We're not going to be able to answer whether or not whether it's going to go. The results of the data that we've generated for the CA said the data, the material fall out
But
early.
they can't guarantee.
But nobody's answering our questions.
Well, I mean, it's whether or not you believe the results. I mean, and no one's going to guarantee.
I've been here an hour and a half, and I've
we
had one
can't,
question answered out of
because
about 5.
unless you do it and measure, you can't guarantee it. But
So are you saying that we need guinea pigs? You need guinea pigs.
But these models are relatively well balanced, well understood. understood.
Somebody can
consider
speak up and say
compared
something
to
they need the
some,
answer.
the whole
Otherwise,
purpose of
we have
doing
to
these
go by
tests is to
every
try to
one of
improve
your
modeling for another
organizations and
purpose.
every one of your
And by the
experts
standard,
with yours. We only have 2.5 hours, so we have to go by every single person.
not
How
by
deceiving is
dropping,
that?
not lofting material into the atmosphere. Those models have been around, are relatively, unfortunately I'm in here, relatively well understood.
The question that you're asking, we're asking, in the EA it states that the inputs that are put in are reviewed by DOE and NSA and reviewed for applicability.
But my comment is, I go over there and make a question on the public comment, which I appreciate they're here because they weren't the first one you had.
Okay, I don't know
Anyway,
about that.
I'm wanting to know, you're making me put it in writing to get an answer because you don't know and he doesn't know and they don't know, and it's on something that you contracted to have written and you say you've read it. Why didn't these questions come up in your thoughts? And how do I get an answer? Because, sure, you're going to make a recommendation of what to do. Well, you guys have already made up your minds. You want to do this. And I've decided
You're making a
that...
statement. There's nothing I could say that may dissuade your mind on that. What I can tell you is that the reason why we're here is that I may not be able to answer a question because it may be a complicated question. So if you write it down specifically what you want...
I'm asking who did you contract to write your EA? That's not a
It
complicated...
was written by the Department of Energy. You'll have to ask them. We didn't do the contract.
Okay,
I don't know
who in this room could I ask to find out who
the
contracted?
lady, the gray-haired lady that's standing with a man in the black
She's
vest.
asking if she submits her comments and being familiar with the NEPA process. This is an environmental assessment. It's not an environmental impact.
Correct.
Therefore, whatever comments that we submit may not necessarily
Ever make it?
You won't. We won't technically see a response
You will
because
not-
under
there's no-
NEPA, you're not. It's not a exactly.
So this is our chance to get an actual answer to these questions. So this is our 2.5 hours of fame here, so to speak, to make sure that we understand what you're promoting.
The public can't comment on what it doesn't understand. And so if you can't answer our questions here, how are they supposed to give informed comments?
You think I can call the Nevada test site and say, hey guys, I need to know this? No, they're not going to answer me. They're going to go, I don't know. Let me put you on hold. I'll put you through to, and you go through the whole thing that we're doing right here.
We're not going to be able to answer your question to your satisfaction. The only way we will consider all the comments and questions seriously and try to answer them. We will not necessarily, there is nothing in the NEPA in an EA that says that all questions will be answered. Unfortunately, we're not able to answer your questions, but we've tried to answer your questions. We encourage you to document them, and they'll be addressed. I mean,
I won't get an answer. I'm not getting an answer.
The process is as it is. We're following the process and exceeding what was required by the EA process.
So why don't you do an environmental impact study?
We haven't. It has not been a determination that is necessary to do one yet. At the end of this EA, there will be a final determination. There will be a final determination. There's
I would
two
personally
goals.
like someone to write me a note and email it to me and say, this is this question, this is this question, these are the answers.
The question
It could possibly involve my life. It can possibly involve my children, my 5 children. It impacts everybody that lives north and northeast of your test site. So how do people that, granted, there's not a lot of people here, and I know that you people don't want to be here, whether, not necessarily you, but it is aggravating that someone will not address my questions. I won't get an answer. I can go over there and make a public comment, but it's a dog and pony show. Nobody cares.
That's your opinion.
I realize that.
I can tell you that if you were to, in your input, say, and I would like a response to be sent back with me, that may be the way to do it.
But it won't happen.
And well, that's what